things are getting real shaky. Like I said, with the whole visa situation, so I gotta book it. I mean, booking it back to the states, booking it back to the states. Probably for not probably for a while. It was a fun ride while it lasted, but all things come to an end, including this trip because I mean with all these places, right? You're just pretty much an extended tourist. So my luck ran out, visa ran out, situations ran out, so pretty much got to hightail it. But yeah, I mean all in all, it was a fun ride. You know what I mean? It was another adventure, another learning curve. I mean, not well, learning curve too, but another experience. You know what I mean? Another adventure, another. I don't know, just another collection of memories. You know what I mean? Experience. I guess really trying to live on my own, like teach. Um, really trying to live out here, really in Asia, really Southeast Asia on my own. You know what I mean? It was, a 3 month journey. You know what I mean? 8 going on 9 months altogether in Asia, if you include like the other trips. So yeah, I mean, all in all was, I mean, it was more of a real kind of stripped down sort of a trip. Because the situations with trying to teach English in Vietnam, here a bit. Like I said, things got pretty shaky pretty quick. You know what I mean, especially after those 2 weeks. But between that, seeing China was nice. Um, yeah, I mean, it was a good experience all in all. But like I said, the luck has ran out. So we'll be exploring too much. Like I said, explored a little bit of Phnom Penh, a little bit of Bavet. You know what I mean? Battambang. A few other small little towns. You know what I mean? Passed by a few temples. Didn't see Angkor Wat yet. I didn't see what's it called? Um, Siem Reap. I didn't go to Siem Reap yet. Didn't go to Siem Reap. Or at least wasn't able to. Not gonna lie, I would say, at least for me, I know the Chinese spots were cool. I'll talk about just as far as like Bavep. Um, you had all those casinos, all that shit rocking with Bavep. Um, Phnom Penh, there's some Chinese gangster shit here as well as Bavep. But I mean, here where I'm at, I mean, there was if we're talking about like club action and just like liveliness, I would say that's probably, at least for me, my best bet. Um, but I don't know, between like the situation with the teacher thing and like the visa thing, I didn't spend a whole lot of real fun time in Phnom Penh. I didn't really spend fun here. Pretty much was here trying to cover ground, and then, but I got a situation. Looking to get out. But yeah, I mean, all in all together, the third trip in Asia, pretty much the third trip and the seventh going on 8 months. Because all together, like I said, I've been in Asia for about 8 months. Um, yeah, a lot to take in, a lot to learn. What I'm gonna do is I'm not, because with all these situations, I'm not gonna be able to come back here for, I'll say for a few years. To be I don't think I'll be blacklisted. Yeah, Cambodia. Yeah, yeah, it's gonna take a few years. It's gonna take a few years because, I mean, at this point, what it's taught me is that I need to up my skills. You know what I mean? I need to get some sort of degree, probably like some online degree. Um, it's something. You know what I mean? Um, Between that and saving, like adequate amount of capital, if I want to do that and come back here to really earn some money, it's gonna take a few years. It's gonna take a few years. It's gonna take some bullshit, some saving, some maneuvering, some thinking. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I think that's the best bet if I want to come back here longer term in Asia. Is get a degree, even like well, it depends. Like now, at least in Southeast Asia, I know like China, Japan, Korea. You need like a proper like English degree, but you can get like any sort of degree. At least here for now, in Southeast Asia, you'll be good. Um, with that, it'll open more doors. Like I said, I found stuff like here and there. I was on a here and there tip with just finding work. Um, was really putting all my on the teaching thing, which ultimately, had an ass bet, had a snake eyes. I rolled a few good numbers, but caught a snake eyes. You know what I mean by, playing myself. That week probably with the whole visa shit. So I pretty much got to hightail it back to the States. Now, how long the whole process is going to be to come back to Asia and Southeast Asia, I would say it's going to take a few years. You know what I mean? A few years, with an S, a few years, um, to really get some shit rocking. I mean, but, with all experience, because I mean, Asia's not going anywhere. Really, these jobs isn't going anywhere. These girls aren't going anywhere. So really, I mean, at this point, you're like, test runs, trials. You know what I mean? Gauntlets and humiliation rituals aside, I would not trade this for the world. You know what I mean? Despite, I mean, I'm ultimately paying for all, mistakes and learning from them too. You know what I mean? So it's not all bad, but yeah, I think just the mode is just really locked down on getting some type of skills. Skills pay the fucking bills. So gotta up my skills. Gotta up my skills. Probably maybe in some. I gotta really look into it. Because I'm in my 30s now, so I gotta take shit more serious. You know what I mean? I'm not the I'm not the teenage kid and kid in my 20s. I was running around here, you know what I mean, running around there. It's getting more serious now, you know what I mean, since, I'm in my 30s now. And, although I think certain activities is kind of catching up with me, certain lifestyles. It is beginning to catch up, and I don't want it to catch up too bad. I mean, it already, but, regardless, though, still alive, still well. Wouldn't trade any of these experiences for the world. You know what I mean? Because win, lose, or draw, you only live one life, and after this is it. You know what I mean? Like we're all gonna be dead and forgotten one day. You know what I mean? This channel. So really, it's just experiencing as much as you can, going out there, going out for the gusto. I don't regret it. Like I said, there's a few. You don't know about any of this shit till you do it. You know what I mean? So, like I said, had my fun, had my mistakes, had my lessons. You know what I mean? Had my experiences. and seeing, like I said, boots on the ground. I'm seeing this. I'm seeing these places in person. You know what I mean? I'm experiencing the streets, working class, lower class, upper class. You know what I mean? I came across different types of people. You know what I mean? And different walks of life. You know what I mean? So we're getting all those perspectives. Like I said, had those few. Like I said, I had a few instances where things didn't work out with the teaching thing, and then I made, kind of a bullshit move, went to jump the gun on a hot visa, and I'm getting a spanking for it. I'm getting a little spanking, but you know what I mean. It's you have ups and downs. You know what I mean. That's what life is all about. You know what I mean. But life is a bitch. Life is a bitch sometimes. Life wants more than their fair share sometimes. Life can give you, just like a woman, life can give you hissy fits sometimes. But I'm still going out for it. I'm still gonna fuck her. So I'm still fucking life in the positive way now. I'm fucking life. My mentality is still fuck life. Going for it, pretty much until my dying day. You know what I mean? Just ran into some slip ups. Just ran into some slip ups. Ran into some hiccups, but I'll get back here eventually, or anywhere I want to go. You know what I mean? Just got to put my mind to it. And Southeast Asia, right? Well, Asia in general, but you say you sound like a pimp. No, more like a monger and a trick. More like a monger and a trick. A monger and a trick. You know what I mean? But yeah, life is life, you gotta fuck her. You know what I mean? You gotta fuck her. You know what I mean? Till it's over. You know what I mean? Put your money on the counter. Because I'm paying for all this shit. I mean, every action you do, you gotta pay for it. So yeah, I'm paying for this shit. Like I said, humiliation ritual action. Humiliation ritual action. Yeah, whatever. But yeah, humiliation ritual action aside, slip ups aside. I mean, life can be a bitch. Life can be a bitch. Life can be a bitch at times. But I'm getting at, you still gotta go for it. You still gotta fuck her. You know what I mean? 'Cause I don't wanna be out for the count anytime soon. But I guess what this trip has taught me, yeah, I mean, pretty much, you gotta up those skills. You know what I mean? Gotta up those skills. Gotta up those skills. Gotta up those connections. Of course, gotta up the money. Gotta up the money. Yeah, I mean, it was still a good adventure. It was still a good ride. Nothing crazy happened. I talk about as far as like me. Because there's a lot of crazy shit. There's a lot of crazy shit in Asia, Southeast Asia especially. There's a lot of gully shit that you can really get yourself caught up in, which I for the most part kept on the straight and narrow. Like I said, just made some dumb mistakes. Just moving around, on a hot visa, and then just really not thinking straight. At least as far as like with that, I should have got that handled. So yeah, I mean, but it's all good. It's all good. It's all good. Just taking it one day at a time. Yeah, I mean, at least I got some good. I mean, I do have like at least some experience in teaching. At least some, at least I have some basis to work on. You know what I mean? You know what I mean, to really hit it next time. But I think just locking down or just really getting some degree. Well, I mean, yeah, you can drop from the channel, man. You can you don't have to watch me. You know what I mean? You can hit X at any time. You can hit X at any time. But anywho, what I'm getting at is, yeah. So I mean, I give Cambodia this. Like I said, I was moving around on a hot visa like a dumbass. So that was my spot. You know what I mean? For the reason being in this position. But I mean, visas for now. I mean, I don't know. Maybe people like me may make it harder. But I think visa. Well, I don't think the rules are changing anytime soon. To be honest, even if it's a couple years from now. But yeah, I mean, visas so far. Cambodia is pretty much the easiest. You just pay the 200. Like a business, you're pretty much good from there. You know what I mean? Just proof of residency, you can have your own bank account, everything like that. Um, compared to like Vietnam, where it's a bit more red tape. Thailand's a lot of red tape. I didn't even check out Laos. Um, and Myanmar is not on the radar at all. You know what I mean? Just communist military dictatorship. That's not anywhere near the radar. But I mean, Cambodia. I mean, it let me. I earned some money here, had a little fun here, taught some kids to here. Right now, like I said, I had situations that at least with me, didn't pan out quite how I want. But with teaching, at least for now, without a degree, it's still the most open without a degree. I think only here, Myanmar, like Laos, but the pay is terrible in Laos. Um, Myanmar too. I think Kazakhstan, but what I'm getting at is like Cambodia is like a handful of countries where you can still get good footing with teaching, just even without a degree. But I think it's like I said, I worked all these years, didn't really have my skills in order. Like I said, I mean, I've been working jobs here and there, going this and this place, doing stuff here and there. I think now I just need to just lock down or just really focus on like upping the skill set, upping the credentials, and of course upping the funds. You know what I mean? I can't. I think this is definitely the last trip where I'm really on that tourist mindset. I mean, of course, with these places, I mean, you'll never be one of them, and you'll never be a full citizen. So I mean, I guess to varying degrees, anybody who's not Cambodian, Thai, Lao, or whatever, is an extended tourist. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Unless you do unless you go about I don't know, the visa process for immigration is a process. What I'm getting at is, I mean, to some degree, you're pretty much an extended tourist, no matter what nationality you are outside of these nationalities. Because it's not like the USA. It's not like other places where, you can work and earn your earn your citizenship though. So you're pretty much just an extended tourist. But with having the right, at least for me, right, with having the right credentials, with having the right skill set. It could put me in better footing, next time I come back. Which I said will, be. It's gonna take a few years. It's gonna take a few years. It's gonna take a lot. It's gonna take a lot because it took a lot to get here from the last time. So it's gonna take even more so. But what again? That is, yeah, it was a fun ride. 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 Like I said, still alive, still well. Like I said, had my fun, had my experience with really trying to live here, not just like on a complete tourist mindset. Although, I was kind of moving around how I was moving. But, this was a more grounded, experience, you know what I mean? From the highs to the lows, more grounded. Um, yeah, it was cool seeing, it was cool seeing this place, cool experience of this place. Um, yeah, I mean, on a street level, at least on a street level, as I predicted, Cambodia is more, more on the cutthroat tip. Things on the rougher tip. To be on the street level. Um, and I personally wouldn't advise the street level too hard. You know what I mean? Yeah, because there's some, I mean, there's some real characters out there for you. But I mean, all in all, though, yeah, I mean, was was it what I kind of wanted out of it? No, you know what I mean. But still earned, a little bit of paper. Um, Still was able to, move around here and there. You know what I mean. Pretty much live, um, be situated. So I really can't complain overall. I mean, things are more pricey here, compared to the other places Southeast Asia. I think, because they accept the U.S. dollar. That's like the main currency, at least in Cambodia. So yeah, so with that, things are going to be more pricey. I mean, still, I mean, of course, not as expensive as anywhere in the West, but yeah, I mean, things are a bit pricier. Things are a bit rougher. Um, Visa situation is cool. Like I said, I was moving with things. I was moving kind of dumb when on the visa. I was moving kind of was like pending and hot, and then things happened there. But I'm talking about regardless of that, right? Yeah, I would say. Yeah, I mean, China was cool. It was kind of what I expected too. Very, very. It was intense. I mean, the big cities in China are intense. I mean, there's a lot of. Yeah, there's a lot of shit going on in the bigger cities. Smaller cities are cooler. Smaller cities are cooler. Um, Vietnam, I really liked Vietnam. Vietnam was, I think, outside of the teaching thing, really just holding stuff with there. You know what I mean? Because they're tightening up with teachers without degrees. But I was talking about like as far as lodging, as far as like what you get out of your money just for food, chick action, just all that stuff. I mean, the weather is, it was Southeast Asia, so the weather. But I mean, yeah, I really like Vietnam. I mean, Cambodia was cool, but there was a few situations that happened, a few situations I put myself in, which didn't make it as fun of a stay as I would want it. But I mean, at the same time, you know what I mean. At the same time, what I mean, it's another experience. You know what I mean, another experience, because none of these places are really the same. You know what I mean? Like each country is pretty much. It's like a different video game setting. You know what I mean? So the setting in Cambodia for this player, you know what I mean. Things were kind of shaky. Things were kind of shaky. But you know what I mean. At least I didn't lose any. Oh, well, I mean, I lost a lot of shit, but at least I didn't. I didn't lose. Important stuff. Like my life. You know what I mean. So yeah, I mean, with that, like I said, I didn't come into a cross. I didn't. I was, for the most part, outside of a few instances, with few, on the China side. Pretty much have my nose in the clear. But there's a lot of shit out here. Well, there's a lot of shit everywhere, but there's a lot of shit out here if you want it. You know what I mean? So I was, like I said, more so playing or trying to play like a low profile work. The teaching thing, like I said, didn't work. So I want to split, you know what I mean, to Vietnam on the visa thing. Like I said, trying to cross back, things got very shaky. Was sent back here. Figure it out from there. But what I'm getting at is like, yeah, you have your ups and downs. You figure shit out. I mean, all this shit is like all this shit's a test run. All this shit's a trial run. You really don't know about any situation really until you get into research all you can. You can talk to this person, that person. Of course, having a lot of chips, having money. You know what I mean. Of course, is gonna help you out too. But I'm just saying, just in general, like experience. You can't beat experience. You know what I mean. So I experienced what it was like to teach, what it was like to live really longer term in Southeast Asia. So I mean, I got that experience. I got the experience, of like renting places, stuff like that. I got a good basis now. I got a good basis now. So, like I said, when I up my skills, really up the money, but up the skills too. Up the skills. Um, things should be way. Things should be way more cushiony. But I mean, this will not be my last time in Southeast Asia. This will not be my last time in Asia. This will not be my last time doing any of this stuff, because I like it. You know what I mean? I'm pretty much, in one way or another, dedicated to it. So, you know what I mean? This is not stopping anytime soon, ever. You know what I mean? Like I said, it's gonna be a lot of bullshit coming back. You know what I mean? I'm gonna have to do a lot of explaining. But I mean, outside that though, because I'm an adult at the end of the day. You know what I mean? Yeah, I just gotta keep at it. Gotta find ways, up my skills, up some money, have my experience, have the balls to do it, to come out here. Again, despite whatever. But yeah, just upping the money, upping the skills, having ducks really in a row as far as like, renting and shit like that. You know what I mean? Like I said, can't. Like I said, like with these countries, you know what I mean. You're always a foreigner, right? Well, obviously, right? You know what I mean. I'm not a dumbass. I'm obviously always a foreigner. I'm obviously always going to be an outsider. But with the visa situation, like at least for now, in places like Cambodia and in places like Vietnam, it's more lax in like places like Thailand or places like I'm not sure about Laos, but they're more lax at least for now. Teaching too, at least here, is I mean things are starting to change, especially in Vietnam. I was gunning for Vietnam just because, or going for Vietnam just because you can earn a lot more than your living expenses. But things happen with, well, they're doing more crackdowns. They're doing more crackdowns on teachers without degrees. So it was I kind of came at a weird time when the rules were, are getting stricter. You know what I mean? Here's cool. I mean, you can get a job without a degree so far. At least for me, being a younger guy, it'll be more of a proving ground. It was more of a proving ground this time, but I think with just the experience and all that shit, it should be smoother sailing. Like I said, at least I got the experience and all that stuff, so it should be smoother sailing. Yeah, I mean, all in all, like I said, this go around was the more grounded go around. You know what I mean? Like, came here a few times in my 20s. Now in my 30s, I gotta take shit serious. You know what I mean? I can't play around like how I did, how I've done for the, past few years. You know what I mean? So I mean, but all with all that, you know what I mean. Yeah, this is just pretty much an update. Like I said, things, for the situation, like I had myself in, booking it out, um, with a huge pending bill. Like I said, I mean, you know what I'm saying. Life is like that. You got to pay one way or another, no matter what. But also paying with experience. You know what I mean? Paying with experience. So, like I said, it's gonna take a while to get back here. It's gonna take a while to get back here. Really doing it proper. Yeah, it's gonna take a while. Like I said, a few years minimum. A few years minimum. But I can make it happen. I can make it happen. I just gotta buckle down, get the money, get the skills. Cause I got the experience and all that other shit. So really just up in the experience, up in the skills, up in the money. Gotta go through what I gotta go through, or just do what I gotta do. Yeah, just get back here again, pretty much, or wherever I want to go. Yeah, pretty much you're paying for it no matter what. So might as well fuck life. The mentality is still fuck life, but in a positive way. You know what I mean? Go out there and really fuck her. You know what I mean? That's pretty much the POV. That's pretty much the operation. And to be honest, it's pretty much the last stream for a while, at least at this part of the sphere. But yeah, all in all, can't complain one bit. Can't complain one bit, despite the ups, despite the downs. You know what I mean? You live this shit once, so you know what I mean. It's just, yeah, you know what I mean. Another adventure, another go around. Peace. Oh yeah, out for now. On the down tip for now, but never down for too long, and never out for the count. D's POV out of here.